Every minute, $185,000 are spent on porn. 11% of men are addicted to porn. 1 in 6 women are addicted to porn. 25% of searches are for porn. 50% of pastors watch porn. You probably watch porn, my friend, don't you? Guys, porn, it's a big issue. I've talked about it sometimes, it's been a while, but today we're gonna go through the 6 dangerous stages of porn addiction, coming from someone who has struggled with porn in the past. It was never like, debilitating or anything, but I definitely would always come back to it. It was a problem. If this sounds like you or something you could be on the path towards, then it's definitely instrumental that you watch this video through all the way till the end. Porn addiction, it sucks, man. I mean, it can literally crumble people's lives. If you saw some of the messages I got, people who it just totally consumes them, sends them into a horrible depression and erodes the fabric of their life, it's a problem. If it is anywhere near a problem of that sort for you, then you need some help, man. And I connected with a group that could offer you that help if that is indeed the case that you are in. So let me introduce to you the sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Is there something interfering with your happiness or stopping you from achieving your goals? The people that have been watching my channel for a while know I went through something about 5 years ago, and I definitely needed to talk to somebody, and I did, and it helped immensely. There's no shame in it. If you go to a fitness coach to help with your physique, there's nothing different than going to a mental coach to help with what's going on up here, right? So BetterHelp is a site that will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist. And you can start communicating within 48 hours in most cases. It's not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it's professional therapy done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise with over 30,000 therapists in their network, which won't be available to you in your local area, wherever you may be. And it's available to clients worldwide. You can also log in and message your therapist at any time. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can also schedule weekly video or phone sessions, so there's no waiting around uncomfortably in, doctors' waiting rooms. It's more affordable than traditional therapy, and financial aid is available. And they were kind enough to supply a special offer for Brett Maverick listeners. So if you click the link down below, you'll get an extra 10% off of your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Brett Maverick. Link is down below. Now we're gonna go through the 6 dangerous stages of porn addiction with some help from my friends over at Psych2Go. They're a huge YouTube channel. I watch their videos from time to time. They're a little corny and stock footagey, but they're super informative. So we're gonna watch this. I'm gonna give you my input, my experience on when I was struggling with this, and my antidote, some things that could probably help you. Let's just have some fun with it.
Most people watch porn at some point in their lives, but when does watching porn cross the line and become an addiction?
I started when I was 13. I remember my friend showing me it at his house. It was kind of weird. There was 5 of us standing around a laptop watching this. And it is a burst of dopamine, unlike anything you could ever imagine or have even considered as possible before. How could it not be incredibly addictive? I think from that moment, I probably watched it every day for the next 2 or 3 years.
Our desire for connection and validation is human, but consuming pornography, especially to the point of addiction, becomes a slippery slope. What starts as a seemingly harmless activity can have destructive, long-term psychological and physiological consequences. Here are 6 dangerous stages of porn addiction.
That's how it always starts. You always think it's not a big deal. I'm not doing anything. I'm not ingesting anything. I'm just watching something. You don't consider that it could be beyond physical impairments. It could actually have a psychological effect. But when you're 13 years old, 10 years old, 9 years old, 8 years old even, which is sometimes the case, then you just don't consider these things. Why would you? You're literally a kid.
Stage 1. Initial exposure. Your curiosity about porn likely starts innocently, and you might stumble upon it by accident. You might come across sexually explicit content through movies, social media, pop-up ads, friends, and peer pressure as well. Studies show that about 93% of boys and 62% of girls are exposed to porn before the age of 18, often unintentionally through online platforms. At first, it feels like a harmless peek into something that seems forbidden. However, this initial exposure lays the groundwork for further consumption, as your brain's reward system releases dopamine in response to the arousal. The brain starts to associate sexual pleasure with these images or videos. thereby creating a desire to revisit them.
The problem with this, the huge problem is that it's so unnatural. There's a unlimited amount of artificial sex pleasure that you can get with the click of a button, which is not congruent with real life at all, unless you're a king or a pharaoh from 1,000 years ago, you know, and you can have your concubines come and please you whenever you want, right? That's just not realistic in today's age, nor should it be, right? That's so like degenerative and almost like demonic if that were the case. So we build these narrow pathways when we see something that we like, and we bond with it in a type of way. So when we're watching this and we're releasing this dopamine, this oxytocin, which is our bonding chemical, we bond our sexual thoughts with porn instead of bonding it with like our actual sexual partner, or who, you know, or the potential sexual partner that we might have in the future, right? That's why it's important to abstain from it as much as possible, because if you are already bonded with porn, then you do meet your person, it's going to be so much harder to break that pairing and reconnect with the person that you're actually supposed to be experiencing your sex life with, instead of this artificial virtual display on your laptop.
Stage 2. Regular consumption. Porn consumption is a spectrum, but when does it become problematic? What constitutes this addiction is your need to explore various types of content in this new world you've been exposed to. In this stage, what started as curiosity now becomes a regular habit. It is no longer something you stumble upon. It's something you seek out regularly. It either becomes part of your daily routine or a way to escape boredom, stress, or difficult emotions.
We all know that feeling. Sometimes you're not, like, literally, if you're a former jerker like myself, then the times that you actually want to do it, like you're actually sexually inclined to do it, is probably less than like 20%. The other 80% is just out of habit. Oh, yeah, it's the evening. This is what I do. Flip open the laptop, you know, pull out the phone, pull up Pornhub, right? Most of the time, it's just something that you've trained yourself to do, and you know that you get a guaranteed burst of pleasure at the end of it, something that you didn't even earn. It's ridiculous.
They might justify this by thinking everyone does it, unaware that their consumption is steadily increasing. At this stage, the brain develops tolerance. Much like substance abuse, you may need to watch more or increasingly explicit content to feel the same level of excitement. A 2007 study by Dr. Norman Doidge found that overconsumption of porn rewires the brain's neural pathways, making the individual crave more extreme content over time.
That's kind of what I was just talking about. You bond with it, right? And the thing that used to get you off really quickly now just doesn't do it anymore. Does it sound healthy? You have to always be pushing it and pushing it. Like, if you're a 13-year-old kid and you look up boobs, that would have been like crazy, right? If you've never seen it before, that would have been like the most arousing thing you'd ever seen. Now, if you're, 15, you've been abusing porn for years. If you see a picture of boobs, it's not going to do anything for you. Now you need to literally see like threesomes and crazy stuff going on.
Stage 3. Problematic consumption. As the addiction deepens, the effects begin to creep into other aspects of life. This is where porn starts to interfere with daily life. You might find yourself late to work because of late night viewing, or start neglecting personal responsibilities. The escape that porn provided begins to dominate your thoughts, and you might even isolate yourself from friends or family. Statistics show that about 56% of divorce cases involve one partner having an obsessive interest in pornographic websites. For example, a college student might skip studying for exams or fail to complete assignments on time because they spent hours consuming porn. This is dangerous because it's no longer just about satisfying curiosity or sexual desire. It has become a full-blown coping mechanism that harms your relationships and ability to function normally.
Does this sound relatable to you? Is this registering? I know it is a little bit with me. I shouldn't even be saying this because it's like a little embarrassing, but I've like been driving and I'm like trying to look shit up. It's ridiculous. Or, I'm at the gym and then you start thinking, oh, wait, well, I wonder if this would be even better than what I'm doing right now. And then I'm like on my way home. It consumes you. There's no reason your mind should be thinking about these things when you're, doing something that is actually productive, but it just has such a stronghold. There's almost nothing like it. Maybe cigarettes. I guess there's plenty of drugs and stuff that are probably as strong. It is just crazy how incredibly strong the vice grip it can have on you.
Stage 4. Dependence. At this point, porn consumption turns into a compulsive behavior. Even when you want to stop, you can't seem to resist the urge. You spend an increasing amount of time thinking about it, seeking opportunities to watch, and planning when you can get your next fix. For example, you might start avoiding social events or important meetings because you feel a constant urge to watch porn. Even in moments of guilt or regret, you find yourself returning to the same behavior. But it gets worse. The preoccupation with porn can dominate your day, disrupting your focus and pulling you away from important aspects of your life. You might find yourself feeling anxious, irritable, or restless if you can't watch it. This stage represents a shift from occasional viewing to needing porn to feel normal. Additionally, this compulsive need can lead to other issues, such as sexual dysfunction. A 2016 study found that young men who consumed large amounts of porn were significantly more likely to experience erectile dysfunction or premature ejaculation during real-life encounters.
Yeah, it happens, man. It's like the barrier to entry to porn is so much smoother and easier than it is to, get something going with a girl or your partner, right? Like with your partner, you gotta kind of like make sure they're in the mood, kind of seduce them a little bit. You gotta go through the foreplay. With porn, all you do is you literally open the laptop and type in the website and you can get going and see exactly what you want, feel exactly how you feel. With your partner, there's variables involved. Like, am I gonna do something awkward? Am I gonna not be able to perform? Is she gonna not be satisfied with me? So there's so much more constraints and variabilities that sometimes if you have this connection already with porn, then it's easier just to do that. So like your mind goes to that before it goes to your partner, and it should be the other way around. So this is something absolutely to consider. It's like, do you want to fuck up your future sex life with your wife or your, significant other? Consider that.
Stage 5. Desensitization. One of the most destructive aspects of porn addiction is desensitization. At this stage, the content that once excited you no longer has the same effect. As tolerance builds, the usual content no longer excites or arouses you as it once did. This leads to seeking out more extreme and potentially disturbing content to achieve the same level of satisfaction. Unfortunately, this escalation often causes you to push your boundaries, leading some to watch content that goes against your values, or worse, seek illegal or morally condemnable content. For example, switching from softcore porn to violent or degrading porn just to achieve the same level of satisfaction. You might feel disturbed by the type of content you're consuming, but your need for more extreme stimulation outweighs those feelings.
I know some of y'all could relate to that. You used to be able to just, flip through a Playboy, but now you gotta look up, lesbian midgets on stilts to get it off.
Stage 6. Crisis points. This is rock bottom. At this stage, the consequences of porn addiction become catastrophic. Your relationships are often destroyed. Your self-esteem is at an all-time low, with an abysmal career or academic performance. You may feel trapped, ashamed, and powerless to stop, despite knowing the harm it's causing. A professional might lose your job because you were caught watching porn at work. Or if you're in a relationship, you could struggle with severe relationship problems because you can no longer be intimate with your partner. All of these contribute to severe feelings of guilt, shame, and hopelessness, leading to depression or anxiety. It is only at this point that people tend to seek therapy or rehabilitation. Research has shown that chronic porn addiction can change the brain structure in a way that is similar to those seen in substance abuse disorders. These changes significantly affect their decision-making, self-control, and emotional regulation, thereby leading to anger management issues. Porn addiction is not just a harmless habit or a casual indulgence. Its effects ripple through your mind, body, and life, taking over your thoughts and behaviors in ways that can be difficult to reverse. If you find yourself moving down this path, please know that you're not alone.
I agree completely with that. Luckily, it never got to that point for me, but I know some people, it certainly does. There's people watching this right now where it's at that point, or it's a slippery slope towards that. So here's my antidote. Here is what worked for me. So you literally just need to stop for like a month. I would recommend cutting it off cold turkey. Just stop it altogether. If that includes putting a porn blocker on your phone and your laptop and, getting an accountability buddy to, make sure you're not fucking up. There's certain companies that do that. Blocker X is one of them. Then do what you have to do, but there's certainly a hump that you have to get over, much like staying in the gym. Like, it's not fun doing it, you know, like you're feeling uncomfortable, feels weird, you want to just hang out, you want to seek pleasure, right? Same as with pornography, but hold off, with staying for a month. When you get over that, you have this certain rewiring of your neural synapses, and you break these bad connections, and you actually have this shift of focus and energy into other things. Like, your energy has to move somewhere, and you decide where you're gonna bind that energy to. If you're binding it to pornography and jerking off, then it's gonna remain there. But if you force it to shift, it's like an energy beam, like it has to go into something, right? So it'll find the next thing that you emphasize. For me, it's best for me when I put it into my work, YouTube, my coaching clients, etc. For you, maybe it's school, starting a business, I don't know, but stick it out for 1 month, mark off each day with an X. And if you miss a day, put a frowny face, but make sure at the end of the month you have very little to no frowny faces on your calendar, and you'll be on your path to a porn-free life, my friend. Trust me, it's better this way. From a guy who's had my struggles, who's relapsed time and time again and made it out on the other side, it's better, like way, way, way better. Okay, do it for me, but more importantly, do it for yourself. Thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, peace.